Sharon H here. Christy Strickland, who you may remember from these videos, thought it'd be a great idea if this time she asked me the questions for a fun facts about me video.
Hi Sharon, I'm so excited for this video, but this time it's me asking you the questions. Here goes.
Never done one of these videos before, but why not? I'll give it a crack.
Question 1. What's the natural color of your hair?
I'm actually natural blonde. This is all my own real color. I haven't even been to a hairdresser for probably around 9 years. I was born with a mop of blonde hair, and in the summer it used to go white. But because I'm not really in the sun as much as I've gotten older, it has darkened over the years. I was actually so white-headed as a little girl that one day my mum and I was standing at a bus stop, and this lady so rudely walked up to my mother and told her she was disgusted that she was dyeing a little girl's hair blonde. My mum hit her back with a few choice words, I can tell ya. I can always tell a good hairdresser from a one too, because they'll know straight up that this is natural.
Question 2. Do you prefer the toilet paper over or under?
Well, presuming you're meaning under or over the roll, definitely over. Don't be with me putting it under, yeah?
Question 3. What's your favorite childhood book?
I don't remember what it was called, but I think it was written by Enid Blyton from memory. I just remember that it was about a little girl that was always being naughty, and it turned out later that someone had sewn a naughty stitch in her dress. Oh man, I love that book. I think someone might have actually done that to me, yeah?
Question 4. Your favorite book as a teenager and why?
Oh, hands down easily, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. I think it's because I came from a pretty old school home and things like puberty and periods weren't openly discussed. So it really opened my eyes to things that I really knew very little about.
Question 5. What's your biggest non-serious fear?
Well, I sure as hell ain't gonna be telling you all my real ones. Oh, I've seen how that can come back to bite. But I gotta say clowns. Oh man, I hate clowns.
Question 6. What's your favorite color?
I used to love red and purple, but I gotta say I've kind of got off them a little bit. I'd probably have to say blue, even though lately I've been steering a lot towards green. So I guess you could say that both blue and green probably as of today would be my favorite colors. Even though they say you shouldn't wear blue and green, it should not be seen except on an Egyptian queen. My grandma used to say that.
Question 7. Who's your celebrity crush?
Celebrity crush? Well, I can't say that I actually have one. I'm not someone that gets starstruck at all. It's not a crush per se, as it's not physical, but I have to say I do love Vince Vaughn. I think he is funny as and I really love his movies. When I was a kid, I was going to marry Rick Springfield though, but he turned me down.
Question 8. How many tattoos and piercings do you have?
Tattoos? I have one bloody awful cherub on my lower right back. It was kind of a you don't tell me what to do tattoo. My husband told me I couldn't get a tattoo, so I contacted my sister, said meet me at the tattoo parlor in half an hour. We walked in, I pointed to this little cherub on the wall and said, oh, that looks cute, that'll do. True story, sheer defiance and nothing more. Did the same with the nose piercing, he didn't want me to, so I did. Same with the navel piercing, they were so expensive when they first came into trend here. I couldn't afford it, so I walked around with a cooler pack strapped to my waist for an hour and pierced the myself. But these days I only have my ears pierced, but I don't really wear earrings very often. They irritate me for some reason.
Question 9. What would your last meal on earth be?
I don't know if I would particularly enjoy a meal knowing that it was going to be my last. But if I didn't know and got to choose a favourite thing, it might just be a creamy garlic lobster.
Question 10. What is a superstition you have?
I'm actually quite superstitious. I won't walk under ladders, I throw salt over my shoulder, and I won't allow the toilet seats to stay up because it's supposed to drain your finances, and there's a lid on there for a reason.
Question 11. What is your most unusual pet?
When I was a kid, we had this very sweary cockatoo, and we had one of those big orange koi carp fish, and it used to swim back and forth from the tank, bumping on each end. Everyone that walked in would be like, oh my God, look at the size of that fish.
Question 12. What's a contest you've won?
I don't think I've ever actually won a contest. This girl's lucky to win a bloody argument. I honestly can't recall ever winning anything.
Question 13. Tell us a line from a movie that you found powerful.
I'd have to say the movie Shawshank Redemption, where Morgan Freeman said something of the effect, he swam through a river of shit and came out clean on the other side. As someone who's swam through lots of rivers, that really stuck with me.
Question 14. Give us one feature you would add to Instagram if you were put in charge of that.
Oh, too easy. Those fuckers should put me in charge because clearly they ain't doing to protect people. One would be to tighten security to protect its users from scammers and hackers. These jokers let the scammers get away with blue bloody murder whilst the victims have to jump through hoops to get their accounts back. It's bloody disgusting. And I'd also strip every account, big and small, of bot followers so we could all sit back and see who's risen on piss and wind.
Question 15. What's the eeriest prediction you made that later came true?
I've always been told that I have a little bit of a psychic ability as I pick up on a lot. But I'm also tend to have dreams than actual predictions. And I do remember one very, very clearly. It was many years ago and someone very, very close to my family. In my dream, she actually grabbed her chest and fell down. And the reality of it was that hours later, she actually did pass away with a heart attack. I've also had a single crow appear to me twice in recent years, and within a day or so, I've lost a loved one. One via a dream I told my kids about just prior to the shock passing. Another time, a crow actually flew up to the window where I was inside filming, and my son saw it fly up too, and it arched its head down and looked at me. And I actually got on film and going, oh my God, look at the big crow. And overnight, I lost a loved one. Freaky shit.
Question 16. What's one of the funniest jokes you've ever played on someone?
I have to say my poor mum has often been the victim of my shenanigans over the years. One day my mum and I were out and she was apparently quietly wondering why I kept standing to the left of her all day, and people seemed to be chuckling at us as they were walking by. We'd actually been side on from each other all day since I picked her up in the car. It wasn't until we were actually crossing a road and a young couple started pointing at us and cracking up. And she said to me, "What are you wearing, you little turd?" And she pulled me around and looked, and I had a top that said, "I'm with stupid." It's probably been 20 years and I still haven't lived that one down.
Question 17. What is the most dangerous thing you've ever done?
How much time you got? I was a bit of a daredevil in my day. I was a bit rogue. I had no fear at all. One time my friends and I were drinking in this fancy hotel, and they happened to look up and saw me hanging upside down over the banister, waving at them just as security dived on me. Another time I volunteered to hold a piece of paper in my mouth for a whip cracker to whip out in a talent show. My friends were furious at me, but I didn't care. Another time I was sliding down a banister in a hotel and I got my high heels stuck and security had to come and get me down. Another time I was trying to climb out of my friend's window and I slipped and got my foot stuck in the Venetian blind string, and her father caught me hanging outside the window by this string, and I became aptly nicknamed the burglar. Except I wasn't trying to climb in, I was trying to climb out. I could go on, but I will not further incriminate myself.
Question 18. What was another name you were almost called by your parents?
Ironically, Karen, but my parents' neighbours stole my mum's name. Unlucky. So I've gone from a stereotypical to a stereotypical bogan.
Question 19. Have you ever had a near-death experience?
Oh, I'm like a cat with 9 lives, I tell ya. I've had several close calls. I've been one step from life support and in intensive care. 3 times.
Question 20. What's the weirdest non-sexual thing you can do with your body?
Well, I'm glad the non-sexual was clarified. My left hip clicks in and out. I used to do it as a party trick, but these days I probably wouldn't get it back in. I was actually born very premature with clicky hips. Back then though, they didn't really do much about that. Mum had to just put 3 cloth nappies on me to bind them.
Question 21. Where's somewhere you'd really like to holiday?
I'd probably have to say Hawaii. My sister took my daughter there a couple of years ago and they had the best time. As I was running my fitness studio at the time, I couldn't go, so I'd definitely love to go there. And I'd love to see the Greek islands too. They're so beautiful. And of course, I'd love to come to Florida to see you.
Question 22. What color are your eyes?
I'm like a chameleon. They literally change color to suit my mood. One day they'll be hazel. If I'm really happy, they'll be blue or green. But if you piss me off, apparently they go black.
Question 23. What's one of your biggest regrets in life?
We've all got regrets, you know, things we've said or things we've done, but I also think they're really good lessons in self-reflection. I think one would definitely not be believing in myself and my potential when I was younger. I listened to the naysayers and basically I missed out on a lot of opportunities. And another regret would be giving too much to ungrateful people. I seem to be a beacon for entitled moochers. And the sad part is those closest to me have tried to warn me. I've been burned a lot and I'd have a lot more money if I wasn't so soft.
Question 24. Finish this sentence. When I am hungover, I want to...
Well, when I'm hungover, I want to curl up and stop the world. Seriously, I probably only touch alcohol about 3 or 4 times a year now. And even then, I don't drink much. But if I do get the slightest bit of a hangover, I guess I feel a bit down for a few days and I really just want to hibernate and sleep.
Question 25. What are you most likely to watch on YouTube?
Definitely biographies and true crime.
Question 26. What was your favorite subject in school?
Oh, I hated school. I wanted to be home watching Days of Our Lives with my mum. But English was probably my best subject.
Question 27. When you were little, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Easy, Olivia Newton-John. I was adamant when I was a little girl I was going to grow up as Olivia Newton-John. I would spend hours miming her songs in front of the mirror with my hairbrush. And I swear, every single time I was about to hit the chorus, my mum would walk in with a blasted washing and I would stand there, a red face, not knowing where to look. I definitely, though, encourage that behavior in my little girl.
Question 28. What was your last holiday?
You'll probably all be shocked. My last holiday was to Queensland in 1995 for our honeymoon. I haven't even been on a plane.
Question 29. What's the thing about yourself that you're most proud of?
I would have cringed at this question 2 years ago, but I have to say that I would be most proud of my resilience. The amount of times I've got back up when I've been knocked down, and regardless of the naysayers or those in my world that should build me up, I've kept going. I can honestly say I stand strong in my truths and beliefs, even when I feel like I'm standing alone.
Question 30. What's your favorite word?
Well, come on. What do you think? The good old F-bomb. There's always a fitting situation. What's not to love, yeah? Well, that concludes my first ever About Me video. Thank you so much, Christy. And thank you all for watching. Stay awesome. Now go get what's yours.